Hi, I'm Ray Miller with Audio Advisor, and I have spent most of my life surrounded by great music and great gear, huh? And I can tell you, nothing transforms your system like adding proper bass. So today, we're breaking down Subwoofers 101, how to add bass the right way. We'll talk about what a subwoofer does, the different types available, how to match one to your room, and the key setup tips that can make or break your listening experience. So it is time to bump up the bass. What does a subwoofer do? Let's start simple. A subwoofer's job is to reproduce low frequencies, the deep bass your main speakers can't reach. Most bookshelf or tower speakers start rolling off around 50 to 60 hertz, which means you're missing the full foundation of the music, the kick drum, the low notes of a bass guitar, or the impact of an orchestra's double bass section. A good subwoofer fills in that bottom octave, creating a fuller, richer, and more immersive sound. The benefits of adding bass. Here's the thing. Adding a subwoofer doesn't just give you more bass, it gives you better sound overall. By offloading those low frequencies from your main speakers, your amp and speakers can focus on mids and highs. Result? Cleaner vocals, wider soundstage, and better dynamics. Even at lower listening volumes, a subwoofer adds weight and realism that you can feel. And when it's dialed in correctly, it doesn't call attention to itself. You don't hear the subwoofer, you hear bass, fully integrated with the music. If your preamp or AVR includes dedicated bass management, it simplifies the crossover decision. The sub output handles the low pass filter and the mains receive the high pass or full range signal. If not, use the sub's built-in low pass and set your mains to full range, or use their high pass if available. This avoids the risk of double filtering, where both the sub and the mains roll off the same frequencies and you lose bass detail or localization becomes apparent. What is localization? Before we talk about setup, let's cover the basic types of subwoofers you'll encounter. For instance, sealed versus ported. Sealed subwoofers offer tight, accurate bass, perfect for music lovers who want precision. Ported designs use a tuned port to produce deeper, louder bass, which some prefer for home theater or larger rooms. Most subwoofers today are active, meaning they have a built-in amplifier. Passive subs require an external amp, which gives you more flexibility, but adds complexity. For most music systems, an active, sealed, or ported subwoofer is your best bet. Simple to set up, great performance right out of the box. When selecting a subwoofer, look closely at the driver and amplifier quality. Rigid, well-damped driver materials, for example aluminum or composite cones, help maintain control and minimize distortion. Modern enthusiasts frequently favor Class D amplifiers in active subs because of their efficiency and tight transient response. Also worth noting, front-firing versus down-firing designs. Front-firing drivers project directly toward the listener and give more placement flexibility, while down-firing designs direct sound toward the floor, which can help in carpeted rooms but may engage room modes differently. Finally, many high-end subs now include DSP or app-based room correction or room integration features. If your unit has this, make sure to use the calibration or mic tool to smooth out peaks and dips in your room's bass response. One of the most common mistakes I see is mismatching the subwoofer to the room size. A small 8-inch sub might be perfect for a bedroom or office, but it will struggle in a large living room. On the flip side, a powerful 12-inch sub in a tiny space can overwhelm the room with too much energy. Here's a general guide. Small rooms, say under 150 square feet, an 8 to 10-inch subwoofer works great. Medium rooms, 150 to 300 square feet, look for a 10-inch to 12-inch sub with at least 200 watts of power. Now, larger rooms over 300 square feet, you want to look for a 10 to 12-inch or larger subwoofer. This one is 16, or even dual subs for even bass coverage. Your room's size, geometry, and surface treatments heavily influence the subwoofer's behavior. Rooms support natural resonances, that is, room modes, that exaggerate some bass frequencies and cancel others, resulting in boomy bass in one seat and weak bass in another. Placement and using 2 or more subs can help distribute bass more evenly across the listening area and reduce seat-to-seat bass inconsistencies. Also, you want to define your listening goal. If you primarily listen to music, you might prioritize speed and tightness. But if you're building a home cinema, you may want more grunt and extension. But integration remains key, so the bass doesn't feel disconnected or boomboxish. Now, let's talk about how subwoofers interact with different playback sources. Streaming. Great for convenience and modern mixes. Many streaming tracks are mastered with strong, tight bass, and a subwoofer helps reveal that detail. CDs. Perfect for consistency and precision. You'll hear clean, extended lows without compression artifacts. Vinyl. It adds warmth and physicality, but remember, vinyl playback can include rumble or resonance, so component isolation and careful setup matter even more here. Now, if you're watching movies or TV, whether on DVD, Blu-ray, or streaming apps like Netflix, Disney Plus, or Prime Video, your subwoofer becomes even more important. Movie soundtracks are mixed with a dedicated 0.1 LFE channel. That's the low-frequency effects channel in a 5.1 or 7.1 mix. That's where the deep rumbles, explosions, and big impact effects live. A good subwoofer lets you actually feel those effects without turning everything else up to painful levels. Streaming movies and TV can have a bit less dynamic range than a high-quality Blu-ray disc, but the bass information is still there. A properly set sub will give you impact and drama, even at late-night listening levels where you don't want to shake the whole house. Whether it's a vinyl jazz record, a CD, or a Dolby Atmos movie stream, the goal is always the same. The sub should extend the sound and support the main speakers, not draw attention to itself. So now let's talk connections, because this trips up a lot of first-time subwoofer owners. Most powered subwoofers offer multiple input options. The RCA/LFE input. This is the most common and the best bet if you're new to subwoofers. You'll run a single cable from your receiver or preamp's subwoofer output directly to the sub. Simple and effective. Speaker level inputs. If your amplifier doesn't have a dedicated subwoofer output, you can use speaker wire to connect the sub in parallel with your main speakers. The subwoofer's built-in crossover will filter out the highs. Wireless options? Some modern subs offer wireless connectivity, which is great for flexibility and placement. Just make sure there's minimal latency. For most stereo music systems, the RCA connection gives you the cleanest signal path and easiest setup. Here's where things get fun and sometimes tricky. A poorly placed sub can sound boomy or uneven, but with a few simple tips, you can get perfect bass in almost any room. Placement matters significantly. A common method is the subwoofer crawl. Place the sub at your listening position and play a bass-heavy track. Then crawl around the room at ear or seat height and mark spots where the bass sounds strongest. Those are the optimal locations for your sub. When setting controls, volume, level, crossover, low pass, and phase or time alignment are interdependent. The phase or time control ensures the subwoofer's output arrives in sync with your mains so that waves add, not cancel. If you have the gear, measure the setup. Use a calibrated microphone plus software, for example, REW, or even an SPL meter or app, to examine your bass response, identify peaks and nulls, set level and fine-tune crossover and phase. A little measurement goes a long way. Crossover. Set it at around 80 Hz as a starting point, adjusting it until it blends naturally with your main speakers. Phase. Toggle between 0 degrees and 180 degrees to see which position gives smoother bass at your listening position. Volume. You shouldn't hear the sub as a separate source. It should just extend the sound. Start low and increase gradually until the bass feels full but not excessive. The phase or time alignment control ensures the subwoofer's output arrives in sync with your mains. When misaligned, you can get cancellation instead of addition. In multi-sub setups, placement strategies such as mirrored positions, opposing corners, or diagonal placement help smooth frequency response and improve consistency across seats. Spend a little time fine-tuning, and you'll be rewarded with bass that's tight, controlled, and musical, not muddy or overpowering. Here's a question I get often. Do I need one subwoofer or two? Now, for most rooms, one well-placed subwoofer is plenty. But if you have a large room, or if you're noticing uneven bass response, where one seat sounds great but another sounds thin, dual subwoofers can help. Two subs work together to smooth out room modes and create more even bass throughout the listening area. You don't need twice the power. You're using placement to your advantage. If you're serious about bass and have the space and budget, dual subs are worth considering. But start with one and add a second later if needed. Using two subwoofers helps distribute bass more evenly, reduces room mode impact, and improves seat-to-seat consistency. To get the most from your subwoofer, a few smart upgrades go a long way. Use a quality subwoofer cable to ensure a clean signal, and isolation feet or platforms to reduce vibrations that can blur the sound and transfer through your floor. And if you're running multiple components, a power conditioner can keep your system's performance stable and noise-free. These tweaks might seem small, but together they help your bass stay focused, tight, and musical. Before we wrap up, let's talk about the most common subwoofer mistakes and how to avoid them. Mistake number 1, cranking the volume way too high. More bass isn't always better. If your subwoofer overpowers your speakers, you'll lose balance and clarity. Mistake number 2, ignoring room acoustics. Bass interacts heavily with your room. If it sounds boomy, try moving the sub away from corners or walls. Mistake number 3, setting the crossover too high. If your crossover is above 100 Hz, you might hear the subwoofer as a separate source instead of a seamless extension. Mistake number 4, forgetting about your listening position. Bass can sound dramatically different depending on where you sit. Always fine-tune from your main listening post. Also worth noting, many subs benefit from a brief break-in period. After 24 to 48 hours of moderate use, the suspension loosens, and bass response may become more natural. From a maintenance standpoint, keep the ports and vents clean and unobstructed. Dust or debris in the bass reflex path can degrade performance over time. Avoid these pitfalls and your subwoofer will deliver the performance you're paying for. Let's talk budget for a moment, because quality matters when it comes to subwoofers. You can find entry-level subwoofers starting around $200 to $300, and these can work well for smaller rooms or modest systems. But if you're building a serious music system, I'd recommend budgeting $500 to $1,000 or more. At this level, you're getting better build quality, more refined amplifiers, and bass that's deep and rich. It's bass you can really feel. At Audio Advisor, we carry subwoofers across the spectrum, from affordable options for beginners to high-end models for audiophiles. For example, brands like Rel Acoustics, PSB, and Martin Logan offer excellent performance at various price points. The key is matching your subwoofer investment to the quality of your speakers and amplifier. A great subwoofer elevates your entire system. So let's recap what we've covered today. Subwoofers fill in the lowest notes your main speakers can't reach, and they make your whole system sound better. Sealed subs offer tight, accurate bass, while ported designs go deeper and louder. Match your subwoofer size and power to your room dimensions. Use the right connection method. RCA is easiest for most systems. Placement, crossover, phase, and volume are your key setup tools. Consider dual subwoofers for larger rooms or a more even balance of the system's coverage. And invest in quality. It makes a real difference in musical performance. When your sub is set up right, your system doesn't just play music. It comes alive. If you're ready to add bass the right way, visit us at audioadvisor.com or give our team a call at 1-800-942-0220. We'll help you choose the perfect subwoofer and setup accessories for your home audio system, whether you're just starting out or building a reference-grade setup. And don't forget, click like, subscribe, ring that bell so you never miss another Audio Advisor video. I'm Ray Miller. Thanks for watching, and happy listening to that bass.